God created the heavens and the earth. He did so with reason and rhyme. He equipped earth with what was needed. It all happened, but it happened with time. When God created the heavens and earth was created without form or void, uninhabitable and not yet designed, minus humanity and far from destroyed. Darkness overshadowed God's creations. Over the deep waters, God's spirit hovered. Day one, God said, "Let there be light," and it was so. The light of day and dark of night, earth was covered. Day two was the creations of the firmament, separating the waters from one another. The waters from above and under the firmament separated heaven and earth from each other. Day three, God separated land from waters. Earth was the name God gave the dry land. The waters God gathered, he called them seas. God created it all without a helping hand. God decided the earth needed grass to grow. He also brought forth herbs and their seeds. Fruit yielding trees was also on the menu. Before creating man, he was supplying our needs. Day four, God created the sun and the moon. The sun to rule the day and moon to rule the night. He added seasons, days, and years as a complement. He also added stars to help the moon emanate light. Day five marked the creation of life. Creatures for the waters, birds for the sky. He created creatures that were unique and diverse. He blessed them, saying, "Be fruitful and multiply." Day six was quite possibly the most tedious. The day God created life on land. First the animals, each according to its kind. Then a being with godly attributes called man. He created male and female in his own image. He blessed them and said, "Be fruitful and multiply." He gave man dominion over every living thing, probably looking back now and wondering why. He already supplied the necessities for life. He supplied the sun, moon, water, and food. All man needed to do was be fruitful and multiply. From day one, God saw that it was all good. On day seven, God took a break we call the Sabbath. He blessed and sanctified this day as a day of rest. He rested on this day from all the work he had done, a day to keep holy because we are truly blessed. After God's day of rest, he assessed his creations. Realizing for the food to take form, it needed rain. The male and female he created were not living beings, incapable of doing what was needed to sustain. There was no living being to till the ground. There was no water flow for the seeds to germinate. God created a living being from the dust of the ground without yet giving this being a helpmate. While creating man, a mist went up from the earth. This mist watered the whole face of the ground. After breathing life into the living being he called man, God planted a garden loaded with food all around. The garden needed water. A river was the source. This river was separated into four entities: Pison, Gihon, Hiddekel, and Euphrates. Watered the garden, then flowed on with ease. Pison flowed entirely around Havilah. Havilah is the place where pure gold is found. Also found in Havilah is bdellium and onyx stone. It can be found above the surface or underground. Gihon is another separated entity. Surrounding Ethiopia is how this river flows. Then not far behind is the east-flowing Hiddekel. East of Assyria in the Middle East is where it goes. Lastly is the huge flowing river Euphrates. It is the most fundamental river entity. Euphrates formed an attachment to Tigris. Euphrates is also longer than the other three. Garden now watered, food on the way. God took man into the garden to tend. God told him he could eat freely of every tree, except the one that could lead to his deathly end. This tree was of great significance. The tree that would change the course of man. It was the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. The tree that would change God's ultimate plan. In the meantime, God realized man was lonely. What a mighty and awesome God we all serve. A God who put our needs above his own. A God which, in my opinion, none of us deserve. As if God had not created and given us enough. He decided man should have a helpmate. He would put man to sleep and ablate him. A living being called woman he would create. First, God created livestock from the ground, believing this would help man's loneliness cease. Man named each animal one by one, yet and still his loneliness continued to increase. God finally created with due diligence a likeness of man in the form of a helpmate. While man slept, God put his plan into motion. Taking man's rib, a woman God did create. He created woman using the rib from the man, called woman because she is from the man's womb. Therefore will they leave their mother and father, she to become his wife and he to become her groom. God created the heavens and earth, doing so with reason and rhyme. He equipped earth with what was needed. It all happened, but it happened with time.